is Creality for their flagship K1 Max. Is that going to be the one I keep? If it breaks, no. If it breaks again and I can't get it fixed in a good time, then I will probably go to Bamboo Labs. As a complaint, is working to bring you specifications you can relate to so you can have an educated decision on your purchases. Totally different video, so if you're not into this at all or don't want to come along for the journey, then click out. But this is going to be on the 3D printer, first one that I ever picked up. So this is the absolutely first printer I've ever owned in 3D printing. I went with one that I was supposed to had an automatic bed leveling and all these other fancy features and kind of their flagship version, and then it broke in 5 days. It's been a process, but I'll take you through, basically from the unboxing all the way through to where I am now. Granted, video is going to be a little bit different because I took it on my cell phone for the other video, and this is on the desktop kind of recording area. But that's going to be the different things there. So went through, printed some stuff. I mean, we had different failures, and this was like a little gnome I was trying to print for my wife. That's one thing about like supports. Like, I hate zigzag supports. But then this one, like, if you don't put only on the bed for supports, then it puts it everywhere. So like this had a support in the middle of the thing, so it would have like encapsulated a support in there, and then that failed, so then it failed the whole print. So that was kind of annoying. And then, so this is the original Tormek machine drip tray. So this is where it started with. I had this printed out. Somebody designed this one. And then now I'm on to basically this version. So this is kind of where I am now. So going from kind of this bigger one to this smaller variant here. So this is kind of where I am right now for the drip tray. So it just installs there, kind of set it and forget it. It has a little drip hose that comes out. So kind of finalizing the design, but this is one thing that I like about this one, because this one you have to take on and off. When you go from sharpening to stropping, this one just stays there and it doesn't come off. You just like put it there and then don't touch it ever again, and just leave it there, let it catch the water, let it drip back into the trough. So that is the process. The issue that I had was I had like a rice-sized piece of filament that got stuck in between the extruder and the hot end somehow. But I went in, I did change it over to the Micro Swiss one. So Micro Swiss offers a different hot end. So I did change that over to check this one out, and I changed it to a 6mm, or is it 0.6 millimeter hot end, but then I tried to extend the actual height, and it kind of turned out ugly, so I'm sticking with 0.2 millimeters right now for that. And then the thing that I thought broke, so they actually sent a new one, is the extruder. So this looks like it's like a version 3 or something, because it has like the metal release. And also has a different thing for the Bowden tube. So the other one has like a clip, you gotta like pry the clip out, and then that kind of holds in place. This one actually presses down, and it has like little teeth inside there, so when you let it go, then it kind of grabs onto the tube. So that's the cool thing about it. A lot of the setup isn't very straightforward. So even for installing the filament the first time, you're supposed to like open this up, so it kind of moves the clamp away, feed it in, then close it back down. That's not really in the quick start information, but I didn't do that, and I just fed it in there and it started working. So I learned that later on. But that's where it's just a lot of different things that you don't really learn from the initial setup. And you'll see in the video, as far as like even like with screws, I took off the wrong screw on one of the initial setups. There's the original hot end doing like a 0.4. Oh, so it's 0.4, it's not 4 millimeters, 0.4 millimeter, and then I run normally at a 0.2, and then now I have a 0.6 millimeter nozzle, and I run it at 0.2, so it should have good flow and kind of speed it up. But it normally prints only at like 300, so I guess it can go up to 600, but only print at 300. So, and that's one thing too, with how fast it's supposed to be for the unit. I just want it to be faster. So without knowing much about the system, and then the recommendation I had for another unit was going to be from the Anycubic printer. So Felix recommended that one. Oh, and this guy for the Mega X that he uses for work. He said it's ridiculously slow though. So if I thought that this one was slow, then this one would be painfully slow. I did go with the K1 Max. It's currently on sale for this one here, but Creality, so I was going to go with the standard Bamboo Labs, and then I eventually went with this for some reason or other, and then so I went with this one. And just a lot of different finicky things that happen over time, like filament. So that they do send you a full roll of filament, and this lasts a lot longer than what I got on Amazon. Amazon one, so even though it's an official Amazon product, the filament was different, the color was different, it wasn't rolled well. And even talking with Creality, they said, yeah, it's different from if you buy it directly from us versus buying it from Amazon, which you would think it would be the same product. But even the company might say, yeah, get it from us, it's better. But I think it actually is better getting it from Creality directly, because the one I had was like wound differently. It seems like it like ran out a lot faster, and then like with the winding, sometimes it would get bound up, so it would like pull the whole roll off the desk. So that's where it was kind of annoying, but that's what happened with that. So I even printed out, like, these are things that are like already automatically on the machine, so you can print out like a scraper. I would stay away from the metal one. I tried to use the metal one once, and then it looked like it started to scratch the bed. So I was like, I'm not using that anymore, but that comes with the kit. And then I printed off the side mount. Side mount I didn't like because it shook the whole machine, and it's not a very stable mounting. So right now I'm running it on the table, and then I am using, so I created this. So in, what was it? Tinkercad. So I made this little mount. So this actually clips onto the back of the machine and actually holds the other Bowden tube or the filament guide here. So I'll show you a picture of that later. But it's been a process. But one thing I would have to say is, if you are anywhere near wanting to create stuff, 3D printer is very fun and addicting at the same time, because you can create it and try it and change it and then create something else. So that's where I would recommend a 3D printer if you want to go down that route. If you're just wanting to if you want to do production stuff, I know people have print farms and everything else, but I cannot see regular filament printing be 3D printer or 3D. I can't see that being a production thing. Looking at some of the resin printers, those would probably be more of a production, because you can do all of them at the same time almost, and it actually is faster because it does all the pieces at once instead of having to do one piece at a time. Because sometimes, I mean, you add a piece to it, or even you change the angle. So I printed it. So I figured if you print it flat, it would be good. But then I had to print it like at an angle like this, and this took like 3 hours, and that took 6 hours. So there's different things that I just learned over time, and even in the PC application, they have these little kind of heat tests. So that's listed on there, so you can just go and click on it, roll it down, and actually do that. There's a premium membership for Creality. I got that because I didn't want the ads. So I think that it's better that way, and also you get priority slicing with their slicer. So yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you're, I guess, here through this totally new printer, totally new to me, if there's anything that I'm not doing right, or you think there's a better way to do it, let me know. Otherwise, if it breaks again, I'm going to return it though. So Creality is kind of a pain there, because also the app, you cannot change the nozzle size in the app. So it's a 4mm nozzle that comes with the printer, and if you're using the app, for some reason they didn't design it to be able to change the nozzle size on the application, which I don't understand, being a 3D printer company and having an app. But so it's been highs and lows with 3D printing. So we'll see how everything comes out. Currently it's all right. Currently it's printing. I had a stent where it just wasn't sticking at all. I would use alcohol wipes. I would use all these different things. It comes with a glue stick. So you can probably use a regular glue stick. Comes with a glue stick. So currently, I've been using window cleaner and a glue stick if it starts to have an issue. And that's what I found to work. Because there was time where I was running a print, it would come off, or I'd run a print and one piece would come off. It was just getting very frustrating. So, in closing, 3D printing is cool. 3D printing is frustrating, but it's something to learn. Is Creality for their flagship K1 Max. Is that going to be the one I keep? If it breaks, no. If it breaks again and I can't get it fixed in a good time, then I will probably go to Bamboo Labs. But otherwise, K1 Max is what I got. We'll see how it goes. Let me know what you think about the video as well. So that's my true experience as far as setting up the printer. Thanks for checking it out, and watch the videos, and I'll see you at the end of it. As a complete service now, working bringing specifications, you can relate, you can have an educated decision on your purchases. This is something a little different. I went from 0 3D printers to 2 3D printers. One's going back. I ordered one off Amazon, one directly from Creality, because I thought that the Amazon one would be cheaper, but then it was cheaper to go through the company directly. Overall, the boxes, same boxes. Amazon one actually came in a lot better, less damage to the box, probably because it comes to a pallet and then it gets shipped there. This one, that kind of gets bumped around, transported, moved to a different vehicle, whatever happens. But hopefully the contents are correct on it. I'll make sure I have the right box before I open it, because one's going back tomorrow, and the other one I'm unboxing and trying to get set up and probably do the first print on it if that goes well. But we'll see how it goes. But Creality, there's the K1 Max. Supposedly there's a camera in it. From a lot of the reviews that I saw online, they said that there's a camera you can buy separately. I emailed them. They said it's in it. So I will see what comes in there and what actually has in the box. If the camera's there, if it's not there. I don't even know how to slice anything or anything like that. So very beginner, and we're starting here. Audio may not be the best on this video just because I don't have any clip-on mic. So we'll see. I did watch the video a little bit as far as how everything goes, but you do have a little thing there. So a little cool guy. It would be cool if they actually had, I don't know if they do or not, but like this little Creality guy, they should actually have that be a 3D print that's pre-programmed. I'll see if that's actually how it is or not. But we'll see what that is. We'll look at that. Just like normal, you don't really read this until you need it. So I'll put that to the side. And then unbox this thing on top. And I heard that these are glass and tempered glass. So if I do smack it, then I'm going to have pieces all over the floor. And I think one of the other guys already did that. And some other guys are making fun of him for it. But we'll see how this comes out. Just take that whole chunk. I think that's the front door or the top. I'll have to look at the menu, but that's how it comes. The first one. And the printer. So it's pretty much all built already. It worked. I was worried that was going to give away, but that's the printer. So nice size. Yeah, I'm gonna read the manual and then we'll see how it goes. But yeah, cords up here. On the video, it shows you removing all the foam and all that. I just don't want to break it, so I'm gonna go and look at the manual, make sure that's done. The other piece was actually the top, and then we'll go from there. But K1 Max, starting it. So the first page starts out English. There's a bunch of different languages in here, so it's a little thicker, but now a lot of that's probably the other languages. So K1 Max, and then some information. So already took off this part, so that's laying on the floor in the foam still. We'll go through the monitor, power cord, all this foam. It says to move the extruder out of the way and then remove the rest of the foam. I already took it off of that foam. I don't know how you get that out of there, but that's already out. So we'll go and do that, and we'll see how that goes, see if I break anything. Or spring. A little static bag. Spring for it. Also, sort of on like even the manual or the screen, some of the wording like doesn't get cut off. So it's kind of like where some people are saying it's kind of like, well, if you don't get that right, then are you going to get this right? So that where I don't know. So we'll see how that is. It's not first one. Okay. Put that back in the box. It's the other box. Box. More foam. Other box. Box. Oh, did I get that? So you actually do get filament. So I didn't know that. So I bought some filament, but it actually has one to get started, which is awesome because it's always bad when you open something up, Christmas stuff and everything else. No batteries. You need to go out and buy something else. So it does have the filament already with it. And it's nice that they are now vacuum sealed because from what I hear, they're bad with moisture and all that. There's little tanks and everything else you can get or drying chambers. Looks like hardware, some hardware. Don't know if it has any drivers, so I'd like you to get some Allen wrenches or something, but I don't think. Hot end. So hot end for the extruder. Something else in here. So that's the holder. So this holds the thing on the back. Also something that some folks were saying they didn't like because it's on the back. So you got to flip it around or have access to the back. So probably space wise, it's good to have it in the back, but some people don't like that. So there's other options. These are the feet. So these go on the bottom. Isolate some of the vibration. You got 4 feet in there. So I'm going to set that up. And hopefully the table I'm using is going to be strong enough because that slows down your print as well. If the table you're using shakes a lot, because I guess it does an initial test as far as how far it can push itself. But that's all the parts. And it doesn't seem like it has any drivers or bits. So that might be a nice thing to include because they are very inexpensive and you don't necessarily have those, but I do somewhere, but I got to go find it. So kind of convenient thing might be nice to just throw in the drivers like an IKEA box. They always give you tools for it, but this is for the door hardware. Okay, let's look on to the next one. Cool thing with the filament though. Wait, maybe let's open this other box. May have misspoken. Let's see. Oh, okay. Never mind. So there's some 3D print kits that you can get for that. So sorry, Creality, you guys included everything. You even have a jump drive in there, a scraper, get things off of the bed, I would assume. This is to clear the nozzle, I would guess. Glue stick, little cutter. So I heard that's actually pretty good. And you got, well, you even got nicely polished wrench, a not so fancy screwdriver, but does the job probably. And then you got Allen. So this is everything you'll need for it. And I don't know what this is. It's probably grease. Yeah. So metal grease. So that's probably there for the sliders or something. But so apologize for the last comment. Again, I'm just opening this up as I go. But they have a full kit for it. I think there will be one of the first prints is to get the little tray that goes underneath it. So it'll house all these items in a tray underneath the unit. And that's kind of the one that I saw that might be cool. But I haven't printed anything yet. So I'll see if I can even get that far without having errors. And already I don't see a camera. So I sent 2 emails to Creality about the camera. And I think they misunderstood me because there's a camera you can buy for like $30 to monitor the unit, and it's not here. So let me bring you off of there, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. So in the video reviews, there's a camera that seems to go back here, I think, that will actually do the monitoring of your items with the application. I asked them about it on both emails. They said it has a camera, and I think they're talking about the camera in there, which is the LiDAR, which another video said that that's a fake LiDAR. Again, I don't know, but that's there. I don't have a camera. So both emails said there's a camera, and I think that's where it goes, and I don't have a camera. So that's another $30 that I'd rather have them include, so I can monitor the stuff remotely. Or maybe it's supposed to be on that side. I don't know. I don't see a camera. All right, clear the spot. I don't know if it's even going to fit there, and yeah, keep on going. Oh, yes. Maybe. No. Cleaned off, and I don't think there's going to be the best table. It moves a little bit. That side's pretty good. Forward and back is. Yeah. But at least the head moves, not the whole bed. So maybe that'll be all right. This is where we come up to the same issue. Now I put it on the desk, and the filament is going to be on the back side. So I have to rotate it. And I want to change that. Nice thing is, I'm probably not going to change it too often, because I'm not going to get multi-color prints or anything like that. It's more for business and getting like Christmas ornaments and stuff for my wife or things for my kids. So we'll see about that. So, and this does not have the feet on it yet. Still pretty stable. Next thing, it's to install the screen, install the mount. So that's the little peg, the peg. Plug it in, feed, cover, then take off some screws on the bed. That is for shipping purposes. The screen comes in this little bag here. Looks like there's a little ribbon cable for it. Door. A very heavy packing tape. Leave some marks. We're gonna kind of take that off. This is a 90 degrees, so like if you walk past it and they hit it, then that's where your whole door will shatter. So that's not the best thing. So there's a little, the initial foot is kind of this size, so this is where it goes down. The little foot. Looks like it has adjustments, so we probably take a level and maybe level this out. Frustrated with that. So this is going to be the package. It is vacuum sealed. This is one that comes with it. So there's a Hyper Series. So I'm not too sure if they do that for all of them or not, but that's the one that I have, and I'm going to just start with that one. I did buy some other ones just because I didn't know if anything would come with this one. Release the air. And so I don't also know if it's going to cause an issue with it being in the garage, because we are going to have probably higher humidity level than in the house. We do have some information on it. So this is the regular PLA white. All the information there. What that means exactly, not sure. I have to convert that over because I also don't work in Celsius, but that's all the information there. That's a filament. I've heard somewhere or saw somewhere that you feed the filament this way instead of over. So probably depends on what your printer is, but I think it goes right, turn it around. There's a little switch on the back, a little rocker switch right by the power. So that's easy enough to get to. So let me show you what I was talking about for the filament. So before, at least from the videos that I saw, this filament actually rode inside these tracks. And it looks like they learned from that, and then it's actually on the outside, at least for the one that I received. So it has these little clips, runs the outside, so I guess it probably doesn't bind as much as it used to, but still no camera. No camera. But no, so that's where it's through there. So I think that's right. So we'll go and move along. All right. So power on. Just reach around to grab it. Powered on. Lights came on, which is always a nice thing. So that's cool. It has lights with it. Something missing on the manual. So you have like, I don't have my hardware on the door. Like, there's no thing for the manual to say put hardware on door. So that's something missed for that. Okay, so top goes on. Hopefully don't break it. This is the top. Has a little handle there. So that one faces me. Take off all this stuff. I don't know they do it with white gloves and everything else, which might not be a bad idea. If you didn't know, for some reason, for my whole life, I mean, my hands sweat. It's kind of embarrassing sometimes when you go to shake somebody's hand, or you go and handle a knife, and then you got sweat all over it, and you're like, ah. So, just kind of how things go. You know, there's different things you can actually do Botox for your hands. It's like, I don't want to do that. There's another little thing that I saw online where you can actually soak your hands in something. It's like a little device that so there's no latches for this, so it just kind of sits there. And it does move. It doesn't really sit flat either. So it's still, I mean, they probably need to come. I mean, that's, I guess, why they have the spacers for it. But like, if you see, so I'm pushing down on the top glass and then the actual tube and everything is moving. So during the whole process of it running, it's going to be scraping against that granite glass. So it won't damage that. Maybe it'll wear out something with that, or it'll get to a proper bend. But that's kind of precarious to have a glass top. I mean, if you're going to have without a hinge, I guess probably put another, I mean, maybe put a handle on this one and on this one, like, so your fingers can go in and actually hold it, and so you don't drop the thing. Especially if you're going to take it off, you're probably going to take off, just grab it this side and this side, like have a handle here, like a drawer, like a handle, and like be able to take it off and not drop the thing. Just a thought. Again, novice here, just things that I'm thinking about while I'm doing this. It's on. Just take this off finally. For power on, check. Okay. It's also in the manual. So connect and power on at this step. Okay. And then go through all the setup stuff. Then it tells you to remove the screws here. And then this one, before applying power, please check the 3 platform board screws and fixing screws have been removed to avoid damage to the machine. Maybe you could change that a little bit. So hopefully it's not damaged already, but this should match to that. It says remove screws, but this says to power it on. And then now that I get to this step, it says before you power it on, remove the screws. So, yeah. Great. So I'm going to remove this thing. It told me to just remove. That's a pretty sticky, but it doesn't leave anything on it. I'm just going to follow the manual, and if it breaks, it said to remove the screws, but it doesn't tell me to remove the screws yet here. So select the language. and then remove the screws. Now remove the screws. Before you power it on. All right, now let me look at the toolkit. Also, the handle isn't installed on the door, and they don't give you a time to do that, at least on the manual yet. So this little guy, so I'm going to take you in there. You guys are just on the tripod. So you got 1, 2, 3 over there. So those are the three. Those are the three that you're supposed to remove before powering on. When the menu tells you to power it on, yeah. So there's a protective coating on the plate as well. Now, plate A is in there. They're warning that it is a hot surface with a fingerprint. So maybe you'll actually leave a fingerprint on it if you actually touch it while it's still hot. I don't know. But there's 2 places to grab for that. Second arrow up. Third arrow. Can't really see too well, so you're going to have to kind of go off of feel. Pay attention to the manual. Might be nice also if it was a different size, so you couldn't remove the wrong one, but that's my fault for not reading. So you're supposed to remove the silver one. So I removed the silver one on the back side correctly, but on the front side I removed the black ones on these sides, one of the sides for each of the front. So I got to put these back, take out that one, and then we're in business. So little thing. I mean, just probably have a different screw size so you don't accidentally do that. Manual. So I got this already. And back screw is the most difficult to take out for that. Set up network. Gonna do that. I'll be right back to you guys. Yeah, so connected to Wi-Fi. You can, there's a LAN cable on the back. If you are close to your regular network, you can just run a hard line. You just add like Pacific and all that stuff. Even UTC, I don't know what that means. There's a certain thing for a basic time in England or something, but I'll look that up. So it means universal time coordinated. And there's also Greenwich Mean Time, which this isn't, but so I looked it up. So hopefully this has daylight savings time, which they should get rid of. Don't need it. So it's 7 or Pacific time. Would be UTC -07, and then for our springtime would be 08. So now I'm at 07. Now I need that. So scan your device to bind it to the unit. Okay. So while it's updating, I got set up. I got an update. It's rebooting now. I'm going to put on the handle. Rather than say it on the shut thing. Other side. Screw stuff. Pretty substantial for the grip that these things have. Okay, that's off. Nice looking machine there. But I also don't have any reference point for that. So that one can move. Kind of a matte surface. Kind of smooth. So UTC time again. Oh, and now it actually has. You guys listen because now it actually lists the Greenwich Mean Time as far as like the information for where you are. So that's good. So it does not seem to have daylight savings time because right now we're at UTC 7 and it's specific for UTC 8. So I don't know if you have to change that to have it the right time or not. But there, so show up Pacific, National. I already did the binding thing. Next. I don't want to do the self check yet. So let me get the handle. Oh, this handle. So I'm going to put the handle on, gives you a little bit of instructions as far as how that works. Right there. So it looks like, so screws on the inside, of course. Little spacer, few screws. So nice looking plastic for it. It has a little bit of design to it. Almost looks like there's one leg longer than the other in the picture, but this is the same. So pretty much the same one that you've been using the whole time is the screw or the hex wrench that you're going to be using for this. It feels like you're creating so you're creating those threads, so it's going to be a little bit tighter than if it was pre-made with threads in the part. And now it is a magnet, so now it stays closed. Let's see if there's another update too. So it did one update. I was going to try and do a second update if there was one available, but for some reason on the app it says that it's not, it's offline right now. So I'm going to do the setup, which says it takes about 11 minutes. So I'll let you guys watch that as I get some food. So initial setup happened. It was probably about 11, 12 minutes. While I grabbed some to eat. There is some ones that are in there already for some of the projects. So I do have a side spool holder that I'm going to give it a try, see how that comes out. There's always the Benchy and some other products. So it's going to be, I don't know how long this one said it was. Said it before, but it normally says how long it should run for. I did not use the glue stick just to see how that comes out. There's the first print on the machine. So we'll see if that was a mistake or not. So pretty straightforward process. Yeah, Lovelane's taking quite a bit longer, so that's kind of I guess, the initial impression that I wouldn't know, having this be my first 3D printer. So I guess that's better than having to do all these manual leveling yourself and adjusting it and bringing out the level and probably a digital level and seeing where it is. So that might be just the better part of it as far as it doing it on its own. But again, if it's doing it every single time you're printing, that extends the time quite a bit. So the screen's already went off twice. So it's been about 6 minutes since it started the print, and we haven't printed yet. So it's still leveling. So it was already warmed up a little bit from the initial test. And then so still 150 degrees Celsius. Bed's at 46, and I don't know what the bottom one is. Maybe exterior temperature. Yeah, exterior temperature 21 degrees Celsius. I think it's that bottom screen. And so fan's still on, light still on. Getting closer to the end of the bed, so it should start to do something soon. But yeah, over 6 minutes elapsed time now. Oh, it started. Put down a first layer. It's a bigger part than I thought it would be. But you can see that it's starting to get things going. So I'll bring you over there. So another 40 minutes. So looks like it's doing the base layer, and it'll probably do some infill and everything. But that's just the one that's in there for the side mount. So we'll see what it looks like when it's done. So it definitely sped up. It was doing some different infill. It looks like a little string that kind of popped off there. So I don't know if that was a little error, but yeah, definitely a lot faster once it gets to the infill layer. It was doing the first set. Yeah, it's doing that. So we'll leave it be because it's going to be a few minutes, and I have to apologize to Creality again. Camera's right there. Right there. Also, nothing in the instructions about it. So I pulled up the app and I was like, why is there a fuzzy picture? Where's the camera? And then I found it and took off the little protective thing on the camera. So thank you for including the camera. This video is going to have a lot of apologies. But again, just what I came across and what I saw, and that's how it goes. But thank you very much. And we'll see how everything works out. That's how it's going there. So there's going to be the side mount for the spool. Also, now once I did the firmware update, then it was listed as offline. So I had to actually delete the printer and then go back to settings and I have to bind to Creality Cloud. So basically, I have to delete it off the app and then put it back, and then it was able to connect again. But that was just something like I didn't know why it was listed as offline because I was connected to the Wi-Fi. So it should have been there, but something with the firmware update. But I'll see if there's any other updates after this prints and kind of how this comes out. Just currently that one little error string that's kind of off to the side, but it shouldn't cause any issues with the string. But I do see like when it actually adds to the side of the printer, sometimes the filament just kind of hangs up a little bit, doesn't lay flat. So it probably is still hot, so it'll probably bind fine. Kind of have to try a dingy. So we'll see how this one comes out. That's pretty good. Adhesion's well, no issues. Still no glue stick. So I'll say that's another thing to print. It does include a metal scraper, which is this guy, more of like a putty knife. I tried to use that a little bit, and then it scratched the plate a little. So I'm not going to use that anymore. So that's going to be print out. Did the side print. I think I'm going to do more of a stand because as it prints, it has a lot of vibration because it's not a very stable surface that you put those two little screws into. But overall, it's been pretty good. The prints have been good, but I don't know. I don't have any reference points, so it seemed like some of it should be faster, but I guess this is fast. Well, that was unfortunate. It didn't stop or notify me, but no, I didn't. Also, I didn't put glue on the bottom there. Then a Final Fantasy sword, Sparkle sword, that probably popped off and probably need a bigger place for it to stick. But yeah, it's getting kind of a low rumble. It seemed like on this rod on this side, it was, I think, binding a little bit, so it was getting a little vibration. So I did use the included grease, so it has some metal grease. I just put a little dab on my fingertips and then put it on to the rods and also this rod. It seems to have resolved that. So I don't know if you would need to do that right off the bat, but that's just something I noticed when I was running. It just made kind of that low, almost growl type of thing when it's moving over. So seems to have fixed it though. But that's how it's going. Yep, things coming along. It's starting to have more issues. I'm gonna check the drawing on it, but that's quite a bit of failures already, and then it's not letting me know that it's not adhering. Like the filament's just not stuck at all. Well, that was disappointing. So 5 days. I don't know. It's been a few days. Almost a one roll, and then the extruder gave out, and it'll be about a week to 2 weeks to get a new one. It's that guy right there, the lever on the back that broke. So no more printing for a while. Yeah, at least the setup I like. I'd rather have the roll. I had the side mount, so this is all kind of pre-programmed stuff that's in there. This one kind of mounts here. It just shook the machine. You can kind of see the roll shaking. It's like, I don't like that. So got that one printed out. Got this little drawers printed out. This little drawer, there's another one that actually is a little bit more built for it because it has all the little recesses. So I'll probably change down out when the printer's working again. But yeah. Handy dandy crescent wrench because it doesn't fit on the new nozzle, so eventually I'll have to get the right size to actually have a nozzle changer. So Micro Swiss, hopefully good job with it, but it might be good to just include the tool or have that in the checkout just so you can pick it up because the old nozzles are a little smaller, so I don't have a tool handy. So it'd be nice to have kind of like one of these or just a regular one just included with the installation kit. So installed the new one from Micro Swiss. And then so this is a new one. So it actually doesn't have the heat break go into it. It gets fastened here with that little thermocouple thing, whatever that is. And you tighten this down. This is supposed to be still loose because when you put in the nozzle kind of travels up the rest of the way. And it should make it a lot easier. And it says it's not to be, it doesn't be hot changed. Again, terminology is new to me, but that's the old guy that I took out. So I did find that the issue was just a little piece of filament that was stuck. This guy. So this little piece of rice almost, you can get it on camera. So this little piece of rice thing was stuck. Yeah, so I couldn't even clear out the throat of the unit. It was just, so I took out the hot end, and then I actually even took out the extruder again, and then I could see there was still something in there, so I pushed it up from the bottom, popped it out, and now I can actually put it all the way through. Before, when I was running it, I would just run this down the top, and it wouldn't come out the bottom. Like it was stuck. It was like something's blocking that, and I didn't know what. So that's what it was. A little piece of rice stopped the whole machine. And so hopefully this new hot end does not have that happen. So that's pretty much installed. I did pull it down a little bit when I was tightening it in. It's not totally seated. And so there's, I guess, a note to Micro Swiss. Maybe give the right size wrench because the one that comes with the K1 Max does not fit that. So now I don't have any type of way to tighten the nozzle. I gotta just go through the toolbox and find the right size, but it would be nice if there was actually the tool to come along with it with the installation kit. It's all new hot end. Let's see how it goes for heat. Seems to be working all right. Just doing a quick extrusion test because it wasn't working before, so hopefully it's working now. Taking to 220, which seems to be the standard temperature for some of the prints. So we'll see how it does with the new nozzle from Micro Swiss. Almost there. Yes, I don't remember if it took this long on the other one or not. I didn't do that in too many other tests, but it should be right about there. Then we should start to extrude soon. So extruding. So please extrude. Extruding. It's live. It's live.